Nobody on this earth knows how to keep the Epstein story alive better than the Trump administration. And today's tactic, interviewing Ghislaine Maxwell, is proof positive. I'm going to show video of Maxwell returning to prison after the interview, and what you'll see is, to say the least, highly suspicious. Not that the whole setup isn't suspect to begin with. We all know what the playbook is here. Trump's DOJ interviews Maxwell. Her testimony is going to fully exonerate Trump as if he never went to any of Epstein's love fests, and then Trump is going to give her a pardon after the midterms, if they still have midterms in 2026, that is. What Trump and his team profoundly underestimate is that we all know the playbook, and no matter how many Trump surrogates make the media round saying Trump's been exonerated, nobody's going to believe it, least of all MAGA. And the reason they are not going to believe it is because Maxwell is not to be trusted. The woman literally preyed upon teenage girls. Her job was facilitator and chief groomer. Listen to one of her victims talk about what a predator Maxwell was.
And Donald Trump was always hanging out with Epstein, and Ivana was always hanging out with Ghislaine.
Right.
And Ivana would say, "We're going to go pick up Ivana, or Ivana's going to come," and we'd ride in the car with her. And I remember one occasion where Ghislaine's like, "I have to get out right now," and she went and got a number from a child in a uniform. She didn't bring them in the car; she would get their phone numbers.
Right.
But she would drive by schools.
Right. So
as they got out.
And if you don't want to believe an Epstein victim, and why wouldn't you, then listen to the DOJ lay out the case against Maxwell.
Maxwell was among Epstein's closest associates and helped him exploit girls who were as young as 14 years old. Maxwell played a critical role in helping Epstein to identify, befriend, and groom minor victims for abuse. In some cases, Maxwell participated in the abuse herself. As alleged, Maxwell and Epstein had a method. Typically, they would befriend these young girls by asking them questions about their lives, pretending to be taking an interest in them. They would take them to the movies and treat them to shopping trips. Maxwell would encourage these young girls to accept offers from Epstein to pay for their travel and their education, making these young victims feel indebted to Jeffrey Epstein. After developing a rapport with the victims,
so this is the woman that Trump and his sycophants are going to trot out to exonerate Trump, and we are supposed to believe it and pretend that A, she has any credibility whatsoever, and B, has no stake in her testimony at all. This woman is going to be behind bars for the next 20-some years. It's just as likely that she's going to die of old age in prison. She definitely has a vested interest in saying what Trump wants her to say. And if you still don't think the fix is in, then watch this.
This is video of Maxwell returning to prison just moments after meeting with Trump's Deputy Attorney General. And you can see her there. Actually, if you look closely, she's carrying a box of material. Now, Maxwell's attorney says she was forthcoming with every question that Trump's team threw at her today.
Oh, what looks like a box of case files. She didn't go into the interview with a box that looks like it's filled with case files, but she definitely came out of it carrying one. And look, I'm the last one who wants to talk about Maxwell's box, but this is step one of an elaborate fix. Odds are it's not going to be successful. Not only does Maxwell have no credibility, but she has no relationship to the MAGA world that is now looking for answers, deeply suspicious that they have been had by Trump. Trump and his team were constantly preaching about nefarious sex trafficking rings run by the elites who use the deep state to get away with it. Well, congratulations, Trump. You just gave them what they are looking for. The daughter of a media mogul who has been caught red-handed recruiting and grooming underage girls. And now you're cutting a deal with her. You're the state. When she testifies that Trump is nowhere to be found in the Epstein files, even MAGA world isn't going to believe it. And yes, they'll threaten and they'll pay their influencers to say, Maxwell proved Trump is innocent. but it's not likely that MAGA world will go along with it. Right out of the gate, MAGA is not going to buy what a rich social elite tied to Jeffrey Epstein has to say. That's bad enough. But after the midterms, when they find out her sentence has been reduced or worse, Trump pardons her, then you're going to see MAGA world torn apart and taking it to the streets with pitchforks and guns. Lots of guns. Because remember, these people love guns. So just keep working it, Trump, because the harder you work it, the more it blows up in your face. Here's hoping that face bronzer is fireproof. I'm Anthony Vincent Gallo for Occupied Democrats.